My twin sister was bullied by the whole school. After she attempted suicide, her tormentors followed her to the hospital, mocking her for bringing it upon herself. Later, I went to school wearing an identical face to my sister's. The bullies were excited, but I was even more so. Because I am a born monster, and the only one who could suppress my evil thoughts was my sister. This was my sister's second suicide attempt. Our parents didn't hesitate to call the police this time. But even when faced with law enforcement, the main bully remained smug and defiant. How can you say I bullied her? I could say she bullied me. She protested. That's right, my daughter is such a sweetheart. She wouldn't even hurt an ant, her mother chimed in. I watched this mother-daughter duo defend themselves from the other side of the security camera feed. Meanwhile, my sister, who had greeted me cheerfully just this morning, lay weak and pale in her hospital bed. Zoe, the ringleader of the bullies, raised an eyebrow and smirked. If she acts like a BC, I'll treat her like one. Simple as that. What are you going to do about it? Throw me in jail? I dare you. She then made a mocking face at my sister, showing not a shred of remorse or fear. Zoe's mother met my mom's gaze, her eyes filled with contempt. She quickly looked away, clicking her tongue. TCH, like mother like daughter, cut from the same cloth, I see. My mom let out a casual laugh. I knew that laugh. Mom was angry. Mia, Zoe's little sidekick, seemed to have found her courage. She glared at my sister with disgust. Cutting your wrists? That's nothing. If she really wanted to die, she should have jumped from the 18th floor. That would have turned her into mush for sure. Why bother with wrists? She didn't even die. I bet she just wants to extort money from us. Right, Zoe? Humph. Ugly people always make a fuss, Zoe sneered. Due to lack of concrete evidence and the fact that they were all minors, the incident ended with Zoe giving a verbal apology. Back home, our little princess, the one we had cherished and protected, lay motionless in her bed. Bruises of various sizes covered her body. My parents and I finally noticed some things we had missed before. After a long silence, I said, I'll go to school in my sister's place. My parents understood what I meant. They knew what I was going to do. I turned and went into the bathroom. In a mirror, I saw a face identical to my sister staring back at me. My sister and I are twins. Most people can't tell us apart. Even our parents have almost mixed us up a few times. Lily loves pink. Her backpack, stationery, and even her bedding are all pink. I, on the other hand, prefer black. Mom often teases Lily, if I hadn't given birth to you myself, I think we picked you up somewhere. Mom's joke isn't without reason. In our family, Lily is the special one. She's different from us. She's naturally pure and kind-hearted, carefully protected by me and our parents since childhood. I, on the other hand, was born with a condition. I'm a monster in the eyes of others. Since childhood, only Lily would play with me. To protect others, our parents had me study at home. I didn't complain because with Lily around, I never felt lonely. Our parents said Lily was our family's top priority for protection. So, from a young age, I've always protected her from the shadows. But we never imagined that after just 1 year of high school, Lily would end up like this. The doctor said we needed to be careful with Lily's emotions. I stroked Lily's forehead and whispered, Lily, big sister will definitely avenge you. Just then, a jarring phone ringtone broke the silence. Lily's face turned ghostly pale. She covered her ears and started screaming. I picked up the phone and opened the message. It was a video. In it, Lily was being held down under a faucet in the bathroom, her wet hair plastered to her cheeks. Her face was red from choking on water. The perpetrators were laughing hysterically in the background. If I catch you talking to him again, I'll scratch up your face. See how you like seducing boys in our class then? The video ended with this threat from the bully. Rage nearly burst through my chest. I closed my eyes for a moment and turned off the phone. Lily's teeth were chattering. She stammered, They took so many videos of me. Without clothes. I stroked Lily's hair, looking at her tenderly. Do you trust your big sister? Lily nodded. I opened the door and walked into the backyard, where I dug another small patch of fallow ground with a hoe. Soon there would be another addition here. Nearby, purses and pleas could be heard. You'll be struck by lightning. You'll die a horrible death. I put on my sister's backpack. From now on, I would be Lily, no longer Emma. As soon as I entered the classroom, a book flew towards my face. I dodged it easily. Where's Zoe's breakfast? You want to die? It was Mia, Zoe's lapdog. She had been laughing the hardest in the video. It seemed bullying others gave her a sick pleasure. I ignored her and walked straight to my sister's desk. The wooden desk was covered in insulting words carved into its surface. BTCH, SLT. Still admiring those words made specially for you? Can't get enough? How about we carve them on your face instead? Mia approached me, looking down with a sneer. Her narrow eyes narrowed further, a malicious smile spreading across her face. I think that's a great idea. Zoe would love it. Something began to swell in my veins, gradually boiling and spreading throughout my body. It was uncontrollable, and I didn't want to control it. Seeing Mia's smile made me even more irritated. I stepped forward quickly and swung my right arm. Now, I slapped the girl who led the bullying of my sister. A loud slap echoed through the classroom. Clear fingerprints appeared on her face. You dare hit me? Just wait until Zoe gets back. You're dead meat. Her voice suddenly became shrill, as if her vocal cords had been struck by lightning. TSK, TSK, TSK. The other classmates seemed surprised that I had hit her. Their smiles quickly froze on their faces. I narrowed my eyes. What's wrong? Why aren't you laughing anymore? When she finally reacted and raised her hand to hit me back, the bell for class rang. She glared at me viciously before returning to her seat. I stuffed my backpack into the desk. It felt wet and sticky inside. It was full of oily residue from various snacks, emitting a nauseating smell. Soon the homeroom teacher came in. She looked at me first, then said, "Lily, class has started. Why aren't you sitting down? My desk is full of garbage that Zoe and her gang stuffed in there. The chair is also covered in glue." I watched her expression gradually stiffen. She slowly raised her eyes and snorted coldly. "Are you saying Zoe is targeting you?" I didn't speak, just stared at her silently. She sneered. "How is that possible? Zoe is the top student in our grade. Why would she target you? Even though Zoe is absent today, I won't allow you to baselessly accuse her." Mia looked at me smugly, nodding slightly with a small smirk. "Miss Lee, I think she's just jealous of Zoe's good grades. All the teachers know Zoe is a good student in our class. Sit down. If you don't want to listen to the lesson, that's fine, but don't disturb other students." Miss Lee glared at me. I pushed the desk over, spilling its contents onto the floor. The garbage was exposed, and oil stains spread across the floor, causing gasps from those around us. Mia glared at me fiercely. "Maybe you're just a glutton and a slob. You ate snacks and didn't throw away the trash. Now you're trying to frame me." Miss Lee nodded thoughtfully. "I don't think Zoe is that kind of person. If she really is targeting you, you should think about why. Why doesn't she target anyone else? As they say, it takes two to tango." I rushed forward in one swift motion. A crisp slap echoed through the classroom. I looked at the homeroom teacher contemptuously. "Miss Lee, do you hear how loud one hand can clap?" No one had expected me to be so bold. Even the homeroom teacher was stunned. My action inevitably infuriated her. Her face turned red, her neck swelling as if about to explode. "Lily, how dare you? How dare you lay hands on a teacher? I see you don't want to study anymore. I'm calling your parents right now. They can take you home. I don't think you need to continue your education here." Soon my mom arrived at the school. When she saw me, she gave a slight smile, as if to say well done. In the office, the homeroom teacher poured out a litany of complaints to my mom, emphasizing how unruly and disrespectful I was. As a teacher, I just said one word to her, and she dared to hit me. I've been teaching for most of my life, and I've never encountered such a disrespectful student. My mom tilted her head slightly, glancing at her with deep disgust in her eyes. "Miss Lee, that's where you're wrong. Why did Lily only hit you and not other teachers? Have you considered that it might be your problem?" These words sounded familiar. I smiled. The homeroom teacher couldn't utter a word in response to my mom's smiling yet not smiling face. In the end, she said, "Let's go see the principal. We'll see if they want to keep this worthless student or me, a teacher." "Fine," my mom agreed. As soon as we saw the principal, my mom rushed forward to shake his hand. To think such a small matter would trouble the principal. "Our Lily is really inconsiderate. How about this? My husband and I have discussed it. For any student from a poor family with good character, we can sponsor them all the way through graduation." The principal's eyes lit up at this. "Really?" My mom nodded. When she looked at the homeroom teacher, her eyes flashed with a challenging light. "We wouldn't joke about such an important matter, of course." That's good. Actually, this isn't a big deal. Children, you know, are at a mischievous age. She just accidentally hit Miss Lee once. Miss Lee has been teaching here for so long, she's seen all kinds of students. Apart from being a bit naughty, Lily doesn't have any other problems, right, Miss Lee?" The homeroom teacher was shaking with anger, her face ashen. After a long while, she nodded. The words she had prepared to expel me stuck in her throat, neither able to come up nor go down. Her face turned an iron blue. I chuckled lightly. This was just the beginning. I believe my sister must have reached out to the homeroom teacher before, begging her to pull her out of the mire. But she chose to turn a blind eye and even aided the bullies. My foolish sister, don't you see? The very methods you despise are often the most effective in manipulating people. Even when pushed to the brink of suicide, she never told me or our parents about what was happening at school. Whenever we asked, she always brushed it off, saying the teachers were good, the classmates were nice. Even now, she's still protecting those demons. Because my sister knows that if those people fell into my or our parents' hands, death would be a mercy for them. Zoe came back. She seemed to have heard about my story from other classmates. For example, Lily's personality has changed dramatically. She even hit a teacher and caused a scene with the principal. She kicked over my desk. "I was away for 2 days and you become so tough. Which hand did you use to hit Mia? Let me see." I smirked coldly, not even bothering to lift my eyelids. I slapped her across the face. "See? I used both hands." Zoe's fingers clenched into fists, her knuckles cracking. "UBC, how dare you hit me?" She charged at me, and we tumbled into a fight. Her little tricks were nothing new to me. It was just hair pulling and arm pinching. She quickly found herself at a disadvantage. I dragged her into the bathroom and shoved her head into the sink. This scene reminded me of my sister. She too had been held underwater, unable to breathe. Mia seemed scared stiff. She stood at the bathroom door, hesitating to come in. It wasn't until Zoe let out a yell that she finally entered, holding a mop. "Mia, what are you standing there for? Strip her clothes off. I'm going to post her video online today and make her famous." Zoe's eyes suddenly turned vicious as she was held down in the sink. Her features twisted into a grimace of extreme anger. "If you had the guts to fight me fair and square, I might have some respect for you." But you resort to these dirty tricks. It's disgusting. Mia took advantage of my distraction and hit me hard on the back with the mop. In that moment, Zoe broke free from my grip and pinned me down. How dare you hit me? Her nails raked across my face. Only then did the anger on her face give way to pleasure. You filthy street, let's see how you seduce men now. The taste of blood spread in my mouth. Thinking about this, I suddenly laughed. You target me so much just because I'm prettier than you? You're jealous that all the boys in class revolve around me, right? I guessed right. As soon as I said this, Zoe's face changed. Who told you to look like such a seductress? Are you so desperate for men?